Thank you for getting here. Give yourself a round of applause for being here. Like Curtis said, I am Tammy Goebel, and I am a teacher. I taught 3rd grade for 5 years, and then after my 4th baby, I thought, wow, I got to go home. This is costing me more to take my kids to daycare than I'm making in school. So I came home and stayed home with my kids for 12 and a half years, had a few more, so I've got 7 altogether. When I got my kindergartner into kindergarten, we all went back again, and I started teaching school again, and I love it. So, what am I doing here, right? I love school. I went to college to be an elementary school teacher. It was my passion, and my passion for teaching little kids has changed a little bit to, I just love this water, and I have this passion that I got to share this water with you guys, so I'll try to not be so crazy about how excited I am about this water, but when you see this, you're going to go, oh, no wonder she thinks it's so awesome and so cool. So my daughter's the one who kind of told me about it and said, Mom, you got to come see this water. And so I says, all right, I will. It took me a whole month to go see the water. Stephanie, is this the first time you've learned about this water?
Yes, it is.
No one's invited you to a class before. It takes a while sometimes I don't have time, right? I'm busy, I can't just go get the water. So I'm going to teach you about the water, and I have teacher mentality still. I can't help it. So these are the 3 things that I want us to learn about this water. It is, oh, by the way, these are my cute kids. Aren't they cute? Yeah, 7 of them. We have 6 girls, and then we got a boy. And I was going to have a brother for him, but he got another sister. So there's 6 altogether and 1 little boy. But these are our objectives. I want to teach you the importance of drinking water, because some people don't even think it's important. I asked my uncle, what do you drink? And he says, Diet Coke and milk. No. I mean, what kind of water do you drink? He says, I don't drink water. Did you know there's people that don't drink water? Because I really, truly did not know there was people that didn't drink water. How many of you all love to drink water and it's not a big, you just drink it? Okay, good, we've got healthy people in here, great. So I want to also teach you the importance of drinking the right kind of water, because you'll notice that up here, all water is not created the same. The Everglade water is definitely not the same as the water up in the Himalayas or coming off of an iceberg. It's all different. And then I want to show you how you can be preventative and take charge of your own health and not leave it into the hands of the doctors out there that want to prescribe you every little pill that there is. So hopefully you'll see how you can be in charge of your own health. Water is the most important substance that you can put into your body. Raise your hand if you already know that. Okay, good. See, I've got such an awesome class here. Like, everybody's knowledgeable. Water gives you more energy. When you feel that fatigue and you want to have a little nap or you want to have a chocolate bar, take a big glass of water and see the difference that it makes when you have got your body hydrated. A healthy skin that diminishes the appearance of wrinkles in your skin if you're keeping hydrated. And our skin is actually the largest organ on our body. So it really does matter if your skin is nice and hydrated. And helps you if you're drinking enough water, your metabolism is going well, and basically just because we need it. Did you know that our blood is 83% water? Our kidneys, the bone. This is the one that shocked me. Bones, 22% water is our bones. I could not believe that. So we just need to be getting lots and lots of water in us a day. I drink a full gallon of water a day, and that's what I encourage people to drink. Usually they say take your weight, cut it in half, and drink that much water per day. But I like to drink a little bit more than that. Because, I mean, we lose a whole cup alone just through breathing. In and out of breath. The whole cup's gone. So we need to be, this is how many cups we go through just through normal functions a day. And I know people that drink maybe 2 gallons in a whole entire week. Now, when babies are born, they're 90% hydrated. They're all bubbly, water. When we die, we are 50% hydrated and completely acidic. So it's so important to stay on the hydrated scale. Keep hydrated. You know those old people that don't drink anything in the old folks' homes? They're getting more and more dehydrated and sicker. You want to get better and better, you drink more and more water, not less and less. These are some of the books that I've read to get educated on this. I got them all off of Amazon.com, or you can get them at the library or whatever. But I encourage you to read all these. One of my favorites is Reverse Aging. Let me show you an example of reverse aging. See this right there. These two men are exactly the same age, and they're both Japanese. Guess which one's been drinking the water for nearly 40 years? Yeah, this one over here. That's amazing to me. People oxidize at different rates. You can have two people exactly the same age, and depending their oxidation level, how fast they're oxidizing and aging, you can see it by what they put into their bodies. This water is found naturally occurring in many different places in the world, but the most popular is Lourdes, France. And besides these different places, it's also, you can find this water around the icebergs, melting around the icebergs, and if the lake has been hit by lightning. But the one thing in common that all these waters have is the active hydrogen in it, and that it's known as alkaline water. The active hydrogen. Remember that, because we're going to talk about hydrogen a little bit later. Okay, who knows the difference between Eastern and Western medicine? A lot of you do, huh? So the Eastern medicine is all about preventative. Let's stop the disease from happening in the first place. Where Western is more about there's a pill for every ill. And then, have you ever taken a pill and then that causes a side effect and you need another one? And then that causes a side effect and you need another one? Anybody been in that situation before? Am I the only one? Okay, so yes, there's a pill for every ill. And we are all about treating the symptoms. You're going to get sick, then we'll treat you. But if you're taking the approach of being preventative, you want to look for ways to not get sick in the first place and keep yourself healthy. This is Dr. Shinya. I love Dr. Shinya. He's the co-developer of the colonoscopy. Anybody ever met his invention? A few of you out there? And he is the inventor of the pollynectomy. He invented the Shinya technique, the Vassal technique, where they can take out the polyps from your colon. He says that our colon is negatively charged, the waste products are positively charged, so that's why they kind of stick together. But this water is negatively charged, so that's why it helps keep you clean and clear. And I'm going to show you some examples here in a minute. But he wrote the enzyme factor. He and his team have performed over 370,000 colonoscopies. That's a lot of colonoscopies. And he's written these awesome books. He's semi-retired right now. He just treats kings, queens, presidents, royalty, those people up there. But what he does is he puts all of his patients on an alkaline diet, and they have to drink a gallon of Kangen water a day. And this is the cool part. This is the cool part. Out of all of his cancer patients, there has been 0 reoccurrence of any kind of cancer. Now he mentions that 8 different times in this book. This is an awesome book. Write this down if you want to get a good read. It tells his story of losing his wife when he came over to the Western culture over here. Really great read. So here's some examples of colons. This one over here is a 45-year-old woman with breast cancer. That's what her colon looks like after she drank that stuff that cleans you out. And here, 3 months later, the same colon, pink and clean and clear. This male is a 60-year-old male with diverticulitis, and here's his colon 3.5 months after drinking the Kangen water. See how it just cleans it out. It's awesome. 52-year-old male with prostate cancer, and 3 months after drinking the Kangen water. Now this water does not heal or cure you anything. It's not a drug. We don't make any medical claims whatsoever. But what's cool about our bodies is they were meant to heal and cure themselves. And if we give them the right stuff, then our bodies can do what they were created to do and heal themselves. All right, here's the fun part. We're going to get into the fun part. So my Vanna is going to come and pour some little waters for me. And these are the 3 properties. There will be a test.
You guys
so
missed
take
me, huh?
Yes, we did. So take good notes for this test. So you know what oxidation is, right? Where you oxidize, you age, getting older and older. We're all oxidizing as we're sitting here, right? And these are some examples. You take an apple, cut it in half. As it turns brown, it's oxidizing, it's aging. The fruit, as it sits on the counter, it oxidizes and ages. And sometimes you think it's going too fast. Well, I do anyway. I think, man, this is ripening up really fast. And look, cute little old lady. We are all oxidizing and aging. It's basically free radical damage. So here, let me give you an example. Okay, we have a cell here, and we have positive and negative ions around our cells, right? Okay, that's a stable cell. But free radical damage is when an electron is missing, and then it has to steal an electron from another cell, and we start having all these pluses going on in our body, and we have all this free radical damage. And what we need to stabilize all these cells is more negative electrons. Okay, so keep that in mind as I talk about the next part right here. I have an oxidation reduction meter, an ORP meter. It's going to measure the different liquids. So if it's positive on the meter, that means it's oxidizing us, aging us. If it has a negative sign in front, that means it's an antioxidant. Everybody say antioxidant.
Antioxidant.
All right, good. Okay, so we're going to put this in here. This is Costco brown water, and then they add some minerals to it for taste. Chad, can you tell me what that says right there?
274.
Okay, so 274. These both are reverse osmosis waters, these next two that I'm testing. What does that say, Stephanie? Is the light shining on it just right?
It's still going up.
Is it going up? There's going to be kind of a range. It's going to bounce a little bit.
350.
Okay, 350-ish. Is that about the same?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, around 340-ish. This is Gatorade, supposed to be good for you. Athletes drink it. Can you see that? What does it say, Donnie?
458.
458, all right. Oh, this is the new thing I've seen. All these cases all over the place at Walmart. It's really cheap. It's 0 calories, 0 sugars, 0 caffeine, so it must be awesome. What does that say?
452.
452.
What's the name of it?
This is Clear. I'm serious. That's the Clear American Golden Peach.
Just clear.
It's I just grabbed this the other day, and we've been testing it just for fun. I probably am not going to keep buying that one, but I wanted to try it out. But this soda, what does that say?
3, 7.
Like around the 3-ish area.
Yeah.
Okay, here's distilled water, where they take all the minerals out.
470.
483. Okay, this is our tap water. I call this my chemical soup because sometimes this gets clear up into the 500s. I don't know, what does it say today? 512, depending on when they put the chemicals in it, about 512-ish. Okay, this is our Kangen water.
-7.
720, negative.
Negative 720.
Wow, that's good.
Negative. Okay, so
Wow.
vitamin C is about a -50. Cod liver oil is in the -200. My mom and I, our backyards touch, and so the grandkids can run back and forth. And she juiced one day. My dad juiced her this big cup of all these fresh fruits and vegetables. And she came up through the yard when I was playing with my meter. I was testing different little things, and she showed up with a big glass of juice that they had just barely juiced. And I says, "Hey, Mom, can I stick my meter in your juice and let's see what it says?" She said, "Sure." So we stuck it in there, and it was -222. So all that fresh fruits and vegetables was -222. And I says, "Hey, that's some pretty good antioxidants." And then we went and we stuck it in the water, and it was -630. -630. And I said, "Oh my gosh, one glass of this Kangen water has 3 times the amount, nearly 3 times the amount as all that fresh fruits and vegetables they just juiced." And we were amazed by that, because you can make gallons and gallons and gallons of this. But the fruit, I mean, you can't really make gallons and gallons of that very economically, I wouldn't think, and to give it to your neighbors and everybody. And if you're buying organic fresh fruits and vegetables, that really brings it up. And it takes a lot just to make one little cup. So we were really excited about that. She doesn't even juice anymore. Okay, so that's the cool part about the ORP. That's the antioxidant. So this water is an antioxidant. Everybody say that again.
Antioxidant.
A little louder.
Antioxidant.
You will thank me, because this test that you're going to take afterwards is not multiple choice. You have to. Okay, the second property. This guy right here is Dr. Otto Warburg, and he discovered the cause of cancer back in 1931 and won a Nobel Prize for it. He says that cancer grows in oxygen-deprived acidic tissue, and disease can't live in an alkaline body. So it's important to keep ourselves on the alkaline side. Our blood is always going to stay at about 7.34. It doesn't matter what you put into your body, right? It'll always stay there. We know that. But what the body knows how to buffer the blood. So what it does when we put a whole bunch of acidic things, it has to pull from its reserves. So what are the reserves in the body that it has to pull from? Our bones and teeth and tissues and stuff. So it has to pull from these to keep our blood stable. And our body's very good at doing that. But then that's why we end up with some of the problems that we have, is because we're stressing our body out by putting a lot of acidic things in. So I have a little pH chart here, and I have cool little pH drops, and we're just gonna squirt a little drop in all the waters, and they're gonna turn colors. Now, this represents so if it's yellowish, orangish, that means it's acidic, not really good for us. If it's on the alkaline side, that's better for us, just like all these fresh fruits and vegetables. Raw foods are on the alkaline side. So here we go, pH drops. I haven't really learned how to talk and push this at the same time, so we just are in silence during that part. Okay. All right, see this one right here? It's kind of on the neutral side. Right about here. It is reverse osmosis water, but then they add some minerals to it, and that's why we get that color. Now these two are both reverse osmosis, and they're very acidic for our body. Plus they're sitting in plastic. All this plastic stuff as it sits gets not good stuff in it, right? But all the minerals are gone. Gatorade is really acidic as well as this cool little thing that has nothing in it. Seriously, I had one guy tell me that this is what he drinks now for his water. This is his water. Okay? So that's why I want to try it out and show people that this is not the most awesome thing you should be putting into your bodies. Okay, distilled water is about the same as the reverse osmosis. It pulls the minerals from our bones and teeth and hair as well. So, and then we've got our wonderful tap water. Now it looks like this because they put chlorine in it, which is good, we want it clean, but then it's acidic and it runs like this, and it could rust our pipes. So then they put lye, L-Y-E, which is a very high alkaline chemical into our tap water. There are about 10 chemicals in tap water, and you can actually even smell the chemicals. Have you ever smelled the chemicals in your tap water before? And this is our awesome Kangen water. Beautiful, isn't it? What's awesome about it is that this hooks up to your tap water. It cleans out all the chemicals that the government adds to it, and then it ionizes the naturally occurring minerals. So you can make anything alkaline. I could take this and turn this alkaline by putting a whole bunch of baking soda in it. Or I could buy, people buy little chemical drops and they can put chemicals in it to make it alkaline. But what's cool about this Kangen water is that it's alkalized. No chemicals have been added. It just takes the naturally occurring minerals and alkalizes them. And when you're, life's acidic, I would say, even the air we breathe is acidic sometimes down in the city, but if we're drinking our Kangen water, we can counteract some of the acidic things that we do put into our bodies. Even that delicious piece of chocolate after that piece of grilled chicken, it's acidic, and we don't even think about that kind of stuff. But stress, anybody ever worry about anything? Any kind of stress. Stress is one of the biggest acidifiers out there. And have you ever heard somebody, oh yeah, she worried herself sick? People actually can make themselves sick by stress and worrying. People get sick over stress and worrying. I won't say that. Okay. I was going to say I had a mother-in-law that was always worried and stressed about everything. And we lost her to cancer. It's just stress, it just happens, and we don't even mean it to happen. So that's why it's so important to be flooding our bodies with good, high alkaline water to counteract some of the stress we put in. We do need to be careful because some things we can't change. I could keep pouring and pouring and pouring and could not change these at all. They're so acidic. It's just one of those things you just want to avoid. Okay, so drink your Kangen water to help keep you healthy. That one always turns a weird color because of all the chemicals in it. Anybody in here a soda drinker? Oh, when I saw this demo the first time and I was asked that question, I said, nah, I just have a sip of my husband's Diet Coke once in a while, right? He's the one drinking all the soda. I just have a sip. Let me just show you what a little sip does. One little sip. Soda is so acidic that it can take our nice alkaline bodies and destroy the good that we are trying to do. 1 cup of soda. To counteract 1 cup of soda, not the whole can, just 1 cup, you gotta drink 2.5 gallons of the high alkaline 9.5 Kangen water, just to counteract it. I had a lady that was sitting right there at one of my demos once, and she has lost 2 grandchildren to cancer. And she was just appalled. She told me, you know, I would go visit them up at the Cancer Institute, and they had all these little kids running around with bald heads and stuff because it was the cancer floor. And she said they would be drinking soda, these cancer patients. And she said, I went up to the nurse and I said, do you let these kids drink soda up here? And she says, you know what? It doesn't matter what they get into their bodies as long as we get them hydrated. So they just don't understand that this dehydrates the body even and causes more acidity, more problems. I think it's just a misunderstanding. The highest cause of death right now in children 14 and under is cancer. Cancer. This stuff is free at birthday parties, church parties, at Cafe Rio on Wednesdays. It comes free with the meal. How do I know that? Yeah. God, I mean, how do you give it up? I said, no thanks, I don't need the cup. Well, it's free. I know, it's okay. You just kind of take it and just put water in it or something. But it's just a mentality that people just do not realize what the soda is doing to us. So anyway, awesome for the Kangen water. That deserves a round of applause. All right, so our next one, oh yeah, my Vanna is going to come and nicely clear it all for me so I can show you the next cool part. And this is my favorite. This is the one that I was like, no way. I loved this little demonstration. Okay, so we've learned 2 things, and let's see if you can still remember them. Who wants to be daring and dare say the 2 things they learned? They both start with A's. This water has so far 2 properties we've talked about. One, it's an antioxidant, and it's alkalized. Yeah, alkalized. And the next one I want to show you is the absorbability. I'm just going to call it absorbability because it starts with an A, and I like to say this is AAA water. This is my fun little AAA water thing. So, Kangen water is H2 rich. The biological effects of hydrogen gas has now been confirmed in over 350 studies and on 138 different diseases. And I have been gathering up all this cool stuff about the hydrogen effects of hydrogen, this whole book of all these different studies and stuff they've done. Did you know that in China, they have really, really wealthy people can go to these places and get hydrogen therapy. And they have these little places where they can just breathe it. This water is full of hydrogen, and it's so awesome for your body. Hydrogen is the smallest element on the periodic table, and so this gets into your body better than any other kind of water. So let me show you with a tea bag. Or I want you to picture a chain link fence. If you were to throw golf balls at a chain link fence, would some of them go through? A few, but not all of them, right? But if you picked up a handful of BBs and you chucked it at the fence, a lot more would go through, wouldn't you agree? So I'm just going to show you how this water gets into your body better than any other kind of water. So we've got, what do you need to make tea? A cup, water, tea bag, and water, right? Okay, so here we go. Let's make some tea. So how come we're not making tea there? The water's not hot, right? You need water to be hot. It needs to be hot so it can get smaller and smaller and then dissipate and be gone. It turns into steam and be gone. Well, this water is nice and cold. Just got it out of the sink over there. We're going to see if we can make tea with this water. Notice how it goes, just penetrates the bag so quickly. And this is kind of how it acts in our bodies. As we drink this water, it actually absorbs. And as we swallow it, it's absorbing into our esophagus. And our bodies suck it up so quickly. It goes into our cells, flushes out the toxins, and hydrates us on a cellular level. And when you are hydrated on a cellular level, you have more energy. You're more excited about life. You feel better. Your body, you have less aches and pains. Hydration is the key. Look at that. Even though it's wet, it still can't penetrate. That was a wet tea bag. Can't get it through. Maybe the tea's all gone. That's it. We took it all out here, right? No tea left. Let's see if we can make any more. Still awesome. Full of tea. Oh, and this, I love to do this too. This is a fun little experiment, just to show you the power of this water. So if I put a teeny bit in each one of these cups of this tea, and I'm trying to make another whole cup of tea, I'm going to use the regular water, and let's see if I can make a cup of tea with one little drop of, and I just think that is so amazing. There was one drop and made another whole tea bag. So this water is it absorbs into your body, and it's amazing. So that is the absorbability one. So now I taught you all three. Let's see if we can name them. It's antioxidant, it's alkalized, and absorbable. And when I saw that, I went, oh my gosh, I'd be able to play my indoor soccer better. Because, you know, I'm old. I'm a grandma, and I'm out there playing indoor soccer, co-ed indoor soccer with these 25-year-old guys, and I needed a secret little weapon to help me do better. So I'm secretly drinking my Kangen water, you know, trying to keep up with them. So this is the part that really got me. And the athletes love this water because it flushes out the lactic acid. You don't feel that burn as much. You know, my mom is almost 70, and she goes to the gym every day. And she tells me that she doesn't feel that soreness, you know, as much as she used to. So that's pretty awesome. Oh, I got to tell you about this guy, though. This is my favorite. This book. You got to get this book. I call him Dr. Batman because I can't say his name. Can you say his name? Dr. Babajaba? I don't know how to say that. But he says, you're not sick, you're thirsty. Don't treat thirst with medication. And this book was so awesome. This water, change your life. That happened to me. And I'm not going to tell you my whole story about it, but my life was changed by drinking this water. It is amazing. He thinks you can get rid of any disease, nearly any disease, by just getting your body hydrated on a cellular level. So this is a great read as well. All right, let's see what's next. Dr. Corinne Allen. She runs a brain camp for people that have brain injuries or dyslexia, ADD, autism, Asperger's, all these different things. And what she does is she gives her patients this water. It can pass the blood-brain barrier, so it hydrates and oxygenates the brain better than any kind of water. And she has seen a 30% increase of her patients getting better faster. And it helps with motor skills, mood, behavior, and focus. And I took this water with me when I taught school last year, and I just carried this big thing in, and all the kids in my class drank this Kangen water. They would not go drink that tap water for the life of them. If I had a substitute and I didn't bring the Kangen water, they just didn't even drink that day. Now, I'm not saying that's good, but I'm just saying they would just love this water. And it was the first year in 10 years that I taught where my class was nice to each other, great focus. I didn't have any discipline problems. Now, that could have just been the teacher, or it could have been the water, or one time I had somebody say, or it could have been the kids. They might have just been awesome kids, and that's true. Could have been awesome kids, but I'll tell you what, I could tell a difference when those kids just loved that Kangen water. The mood is the big one. Mood. It's a mood enhancer. All right, I've shown you the parts about drinking. We drink and drink and drink. Come up, Vanna, come clear my area.
Vanna does this, doesn't she?
I gotta do,
goes
yeah,
like
she
that,
just
then
goes there,
walks
she
back, and
touches.
But I'll do this, I'm over here. Be boring, just pour.
Yes. So this machine makes 7 different kinds of water. 4 different kinds of drinking, a clean water, and then an 8.5, a 9, and a 9.5. And those numbers just represent the different alkalinity. And now I'm going to show you the cleaning waters. This water is also a cleaning agent. So, I've got, what do you do when you bring home your fresh fruits and vegetables from the store? You just pop them in your mouth and just eat them? Or what do you do first? Everybody say it.
Wash them.
You wash them, right? So we are going to wash some tomatoes here. Is that about even?
Yep.
Okay. So we wash them in tap water, right? Most people just wash their fresh fruits and vegetables in tap water. Okay, so we're going to do tap water. But if you have a Kangen water machine, you are going to wash it in 11.5. And 11.5, here's 10, 11.5. So it's very high alkaline water. But it's just water. I keep it in a dark container because it just helps hold the properties better. And it's all made ready to wash stuff with. So now while this is doing what it's doing, I'm going to show you why it does what it does. Okay, this is dark toasted sesame oil. Okay, and I used to use a dark one so you can see clear in the back. I'm just going to put a little bit at the bottom of each one. And then all your life, what do you know about water and oil, everybody?
No mix.
Doesn't mix.
They don't mix, right? It just goes like this. But if you have 11.5 water, then this is what happens. You don't need to buy milk anymore, right? It just makes milk right there. You're done with milk. No, what did that just do to the oil? It just emulsifies it. Emulsifies it. This is why you can do your laundry with it. You don't need laundry soap anymore. This cleans better than any kind of laundry soap because I've tried it. I've had a really stinky mildewy batch because my kids, they do their own laundry. And if they leave it in the laundry for 2 days in the summertime, in the wet, and then they put it in the dryer, it mildew. And I opened that dryer and I smelled all those clothes and went, oh my word, they're all ruined. And I thought maybe all the clothes were ruined. So I thought if ever there's a time to try this, now's the time. And I took those dirty clothes and put them in the washing machine and poured a whole thing of 11.5 on them. Didn't use any soap at all. And then I closed the lid, pushed the button. It used the regular water too. And it cleaned those clothes so good. I took each one out and smelled them really deep and long and couldn't smell any mildew. So that was awesome. It got all the mildew. It just penetrated those clothes. Let me show you what comes off of tomatoes when you wash it with tap water. See that? All that disgusting stuff. Come on, kids, come and eat clean tomatoes. Look what comes off when you wash with the Kangen water. And what is that?
Pesticide.
Yeah, pesticides, herbicides. Not good. I've tried this before with, I tried doing this once with those organic tomatoes. Couldn't get anything off and went, well, that didn't work very good. But it comes off the dirty ones, and sometimes we don't know that this stuff is on our fresh fruits and vegetables. Oh, and the difference in taste too. I want you to taste and see the difference. And oh, you are so helpful.
know, thank
you. Okay, give them a Kangen one first, and then the pesticide one, so they can taste the difference.
Yeah, this is Kangen one first.
Well, can I eat the bad one first?
You gotta taste it.
I'm gonna save the best for
Eat
last.
that one first.
Okay,
I'll give you another
I'll give you
one.
another one.
But try that first. And then once you eat that, then this is the one you're normally... Esther, did you want one?
This is which one?
Uh-huh.
That's amazing, the difference, right? Okay, so, well, for those people that are watching this on DVD, can anybody tell them the difference? What did the Kangen one taste like compared to the regular one?
It's crispier.
Okay, crispier,
Sweet.
sweeter, not
Sweeter.
could
Like
you
a
tell?
garden
Could you
tomato.
taste a little bite on the other one? Like there was like a little.
One of them spit it out.
Someone spit it out, kind of
Bitterness.
sour.
Bitter.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, thank you for all those great answers. Okay, so now the reason why I have a foot up here is because this was amazing to me. You know how I mentioned that I like to play soccer? Well, our goalie didn't show up one night. So my husband, being the sweet man that he is, says he would be the goalie. And he rolled it. There was a double header. It was a double header, and he rolled it on the first game. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, now I gotta find another goalie. No, I really was worried about his poor little foot.
No, she
So-
wasn't. You wanted me to play the second game too.
So we took him home
Look, I was
and we
hurt.
took one of these towels, and because this water is a high anti-inflammatory water, the 11.5, high anti-inflammatory, we took a towel and we poured the 11.5 on the towel, wring it out just a little bit, wrapped it around his foot. Now there was no bruising, by the way. We just wrapped it around his foot. He had a grapefruit size of, his ankle was like a grapefruit on his ankle. But there was no bruising. So we put it on the little towel, wrapped it around, he slept with it. The next morning, it was all bruised. And I'm like, whoa, you really did hurt your ankle. You okay there?
Told you.
And so we took it off, and look, I was like, whoa, grab the camera, this is awesome. Right where the water was, the swelling had gone down so much, and there wasn't like bruising right there, like you could almost see a line. Do you see that?
Wow.
Yeah. See, these things are just kind of happening to us as we go along. Nobody told us this kind of stuff. Nobody told me that this was gonna, oh, by the way, okay, I'll wait, I'll tell you that when I get to 2.5. So anyway, a big wahoo for 11.5.
Wow.
11.5 water is awesome. Okay, now the 2.5 water is just as awesome. So we've talked about 11.5 and 2.5. Oh, you gotta smell this. Vanna! Give everybody a big old woof, whiff,
Get a hell.
whiff. So you gotta smell this because
You smell it all the time. You gotta smell it again.
2.5 is really acidic water.
Sounds like chlorine.
Yeah, yeah. But the chlorine's been taken out of it. It's so awesome. This water kills, this 2.5 kills 99.9% of bacteria, MRSA, E. coli, staph. I've used it before, teaching school, sometimes you end up with pink eye. I've used it before for that. I just took a little cotton ball and just I wouldn't put your whole eye in 2.5, but I put a little bit in my corner of my eye just to kill the infection. It helps with the bleeding. If you've got something bleeding, stick it in 2.5. Oh, my little neighbor next door, there's a beehive right on her swing set, and she was swinging, and she got stung by 4 bees right on her little fist, and she was just screaming. And so we took a big cup, and I had her come over to the house, and we filled it full of 2.5, and she stuck her hand in there. The little black stingers came out. She stopped crying, and she was good the whole rest of the night. Now, I've been stung by a bee before, and it hurts the whole night. In my case, it did. I don't know about if you've ever been stung by a bee, but it just kept hurting and hurting, and I remember thinking, when is this going to stop hurting? And that little 3-year-old, it stopped hurting her after just a couple minutes of being in that 2.5. And I got to tell you this other awesome thing too, because if you've got 2.5 at your house, you need to know some of these secrets to use this. So my daughter plays water polo, and she was in a tournament that started at 7:30 in the morning and it ended at 8 o'clock at night. And she had sunscreen on, and it was an outdoor pool, by the way. She had put it on twice that day, because when I saw her, she was just beet red, and I says, "Did you not put sunscreen on?" She goes, "Yes, twice." And she was just so burnt, she could hardly move. Have you ever been sunburned? It's like, nobody touched me. And she was just in so much pain. So we got one of these towels, 2 of these towels, and I put them on her back, like this, on the back sunburn, and then I just poured 2.5 on it. And I just poured that 2.5 on her sunburned back and just let it stay there for about 10 or 15 minutes. And then the next morning, you could touch her, it didn't hurt. She was like, oh my gosh, it feels so much better. And her same friend that was in that polo tournament that got burnt just like she did, came over 4 days later and still had blisters on her back and still really burnt. So I'm not making medical claims. I'm just giving you ideas about this awesome water and how to use it to help your body. Because we did that, and people have to know these secrets so that they'll be able to use it when they have it. It helps with sunburns and with getting burned on the head. All kinds of other stuff. Oh, get rid of the toxic cleaners in your house. You don't need all these toxic cleaners. If your little grandbaby or kids got into 2.5 and they poured it all over themselves, they're not going to get hurt. They're not going to get hurt. If they were to drink it, it doesn't taste very good, so they're not going to drink a lot, but it doesn't hurt them. So you don't have to have toxic cleaners. Gargle if you got a sore throat. These are all great ideas to use when you get this water in your home, and when you've got these strong medical waters in your home, you're going to love it. It helps with eczema, and then psoriasis. And let's see if you learned all of this stuff. How many of you are going to drink more water? Okay, good. How many of you know what kind of water is the best kind of water to drink? Yell it out. What's the best kind?
Kangen water.
Water. And do you see how you can be preventative in your own health? And take charge. Okay, drink more water, drink good water. And Kangen means return to origin. And now my husband is going to come up and finish the rest of the story. He's going to kind of tell you about this little story here. By the way, when I got this machine, he was just not even on board at all. And he didn't even drink the water for a full month. And then he started seeing all this cool stuff happening to us, the kids and me and stuff, and he thought, all right, what button do I push? You know, and then he started drinking it. So if you know anybody that's really skeptical, I know someone even more skeptical. But he's been in construction for 28 years, and he flipped his whole career to do this water. It was his idea to do this water with me. So come on up, honey, tell me the rest of the story.
You know what? Tammy's 100% right. Have you guys ever been drug into something that you did not want to do? Have you guys ever done that? Ever been? That was me. In fact, it made me mad when Tammy wanted this. She called me up and says, "Guess what, Curtis? I want to buy this." And I said, "Okay." What's the first thing we ask when we're guys? How much is it? I asked her how much it was. She told me. I says, "Wow, that's some expensive water. But if you really feel like you need it, go ahead and get it." But I was mad. I really was. I was mad. It's like, seriously? It's just water. Have you guys ever heard the story about the two farmers that are walking in the middle of a field and they come upon this hole in the ground? And it's this really deep hole. And they look down there and they go, "I wonder how deep that thing is." So they grab a rock, they huck it down there, and they can't hear it. And they go, "We've got to get something bigger and heavier to throw in there." So they find this old rusty anvil right next to it. So they pick up this rusty anvil and they huck it down in the hole, and it's falling. And right in back of them, they hear this. And they turn around, there's this goat running at them 100%. They're going, "What?" And the goat jumps in between them, knocks them both over. The goat jumps and dives right into that hole. They go, "Can you believe that just barely happened? That's amazing, I can't believe it." And a second later, they hear this old farmer going, "Myrtle, Myrtle." And the farmer walks up and says, "Guys, I hate to bug you, but I'm looking for my pet goat, Myrtle." And the guy goes, "You would not believe this, but this goat ran between us, knocked us both over, jumped, and dove into that hole." And he goes, "There was no way that was my goat. I tied my goat to an anvil." That's the way I felt when Tammy drugged me into this. Tammy sat there and got all these books, read all of the good positive stuff about it. The very first thing I did when I went home, I looked up every negative thing I could. I looked up Kangen, I looked up alkalized water, I looked up Enagic. And I was thinking, you know what, there has to be something to this. And I'm thinking, you know, I could probably find one of these cheaper, because if it was used, I could find it cheaper. Can I share with you guys what I found?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I found. I started looking into this. This is a piece of medical equipment from Japan. A 40-year-old company from Japan. The Russians actually came up with the technology. The Japanese just took it and ran with it. How this does what it does is, first of all, there's a carbon filter on the side that removes the chlorine and the bacteria. It's a high-quality carbon filter. But that's not what makes alkalized ionized water. What makes ionized water is the engine of the machine. And what that is, there's 7 medical-grade titanium plates that are dipped in platinum. And it's given an electrical charge of 230 watts. That's what makes ionized can't even remember the word now. Alkalized water, there you go. This machine also has an enhancer tank, which is on the side over here. With this enhancer tank, it's able to make an 11.5 and a 2.5. The enhancer tank adds a saline solution. What's a saline solution?
Salt.
It's salt. So they add salt water to it. With the salt water, you remember smelling this 2.5? It smelled like what? Chlorine, didn't it? With this enhancer tank, it's able to make this. With the enhancer tank, it's able to make this, which cleans the vegetables. It's absolutely amazing. This machine also has what's called a cleaning cartridge, meaning you can clean or change the oil in your car. With the cleaning cartridge, you do it once a month. These machines are known to last 20, 25 years. They are absolutely amazing. Let me show you the difference between, because there are knockoff machines out there right now. And I looked up those when I first went into it. I was thinking, you know what, I know I can find one of these things cheaper, and there are cheaper ones out there. There are cheaper one knockoffs. Our plates are on the left. Remember, medical grade titanium, meaning it's 99.9% titanium dipped in platinum. On the right is the knockoffs. Everyone's gone back to wire mesh technology right now. Look at the size difference between the two. The two things that make alkalized, ionized water a strong one is surface area, what the plates are made out of, and electricity. We have a friend that did one of these presentations in Oklahoma. And right after that, the gal in the audience went and Googled and said, guess what, I found a knockoff machine and it's a lot cheaper than this. It's nothing personal, I'm going to end up buying one of those machines. So she ends up buying one of these machines and she ended up getting a little sick about 8 months later. And she kept getting sicker and sicker. And what happened was, she ended up getting so sick it put her in the hospital. Come to find out, she got titanium poisoning. They took her knockoff machine apart, and these are pictures of the plates. It got her so sick it put her into the hospital. I don't know about you, but when it comes, Tammy mentioned that I was a general contractor. I have never regretted buying a quality piece of equipment. I have, on the other hand, regretted buying a cheap thing that's never lasted. One thing that I've always learned is it's always better to spend a little bit more than what you expected than a little less than what you should. And when these machines can last 20, 25 years, I tell you what, it's worth every single penny. Let's talk about just the eco-friendly part of this. On here it says 60 million. The last thing I looked up, 120 million of these just in the US alone. Discarded every single day of these plastic. And that's not even, it's good to be eco-friendly, buy one of these machines, use a stainless steel, use a glass container. There's a huge floating island right off the coast of Hawaii. It's right underneath the ocean. It's because the oceanic current is just kind of floating around there. It's twice the size of Texas. They have no idea what to do with it. This is my biggest problem when it comes to bottled water. When you guys go to the store, where's the bottled water sitting? It's out in the front of the store, isn't it? Especially in summertime. They have these pallets of water that are just sitting there. They're actually making connections right now from the UV rays, breaking up the petroleum and the plastic, leaching into the water, and causing health issues. They're even making a connection between that and cancer. Don't drink the bottled water. It cannot possibly be healthy for you. Tammy and I figured out how much we were spending. On an average, a family of 4, if you're buying bottled water, you guys ever go to Costco or Walmart or something, and you see people wheeling out cases of water? And I'm thinking, why are you guys buying this? A family of 4 on average is going to spend about $125 a month. I had a friend that goes to Starbucks every single day, and he spends $4 to $5 every day at Starbucks. He alone was spending about $150 a month just on Starbucks. Family of 4 bottled water, $125. The incidentals, so Tammy showed you how this replaces the bleaches, the Tide, all those other things, $75 a month, $50 a month for medications, doctor visits. That just depends on what your family is right now. But $250 a month on total savings, if you add that up, and on average, a family of 4, $250 a month is what the family's usually spending. That's $3,000 a year. In 10 years, it's $30,000. In 20 years, it's $60,000 an average family of 4 is spending right now. These machines are known to last 20, 25 years. If you had this machine and in 20 years, you would easily save $60,000. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. Have you guys ever heard that before?
Yeah.
Even if this doesn't save you one dime, the preventative benefits alone are worth their weight in gold. And I'll talk a little bit about the guys that are in the books. How much is your health worth? This is a question I want to ask. So, Rand, how much is your health worth, my friend? Put a price on it.
A price?
You bet.
$1 million.
That's it? Would anyone think your health is worth more than $1 million?
Yeah.
I would. Would we agree that our health is priceless?
Yeah.
Okay? I would probably agree to that.
It's a trick question.
It was a trick
No, I
question.
got
I kind of tricked you. In fact, do you know that there was a gal in 1972 that got a skin condition on her face, and she went to the doctor, and the doctor prescribed this prescription for her. The prescription ended up settling in her eyes, and it blinded her. She was blind the rest of her life. The insurance company paid her $1 million So my question is, would you give up your eyesight for $1 million, Rand?
No.
I wouldn't either. Another lady was in a plane accident, crashed, paralyzed her from the waist down. The insurance company gave her $1 million as well. Would you take $1 million, Stephanie, for your? No, heavens no, you wouldn't. See, Rand put $1 million at his whole health. You know, we're at $2 million already. Good grief, Rand.
Can I change my answer?
No. Here's the best part. You guys can look this up. There's a guy at Ben & Jerry's who's the professional taste tester, and he has a gold spoon because gold will not transfer taste from one to another. He has his tongue and his taste buds insured for $1 million. And I was thinking, I wouldn't give up my taste buds for $1 million either. Would you? I definitely wouldn't. We had a friend that was here that we tried to get to drink this water on a consecutive basis, and he never would. He ended up passing out over at a grocery store over here. And one of the little shopping cart ladies found him laying in the middle of the parking lot. They called 911, they picked him up, and they took him to the hospital over here. When they took him to the hospital, he was there in the hospital for 1 week. And when he got out, about a month later, I says, Ron, tell me how much your hospital stay costs. I'm kind of curious. And he came back, and the majority of it is he was in intensive care, so it was expensive, okay? So he comes back, and he starts to laugh, and I go, okay, Ron, how much did it cost? 1 week. This was one summer ago. So how much do you think 1 week hospital stay in intensive care?
Probably 100 million.
100 million? That's the highest I have ever heard.
Okay, I'm not disappointed.
Well, 1 week hospital stay, what would be your wildest guess, I guess? What would you think?
200,000.
200,000?
Is that for you?
Probably. You know, his came up to be $188,000 for 1 week in the hospital. And then he started to laugh because he says that didn't even include the ambulance ride.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that was crazy. You know, Tammy mentioned that my mother died of cancer. And I was talking to my dad, and I said, Dad, do you remember, she's gone now for 12 years, and I says, Dad, do you remember how much that 1 week hospital stay cost when she got diagnosed? And he says, yeah, because he was an accountant, he remembers all these things. I says, how much did that 1 week hospital stay cost? He said it was $43,000. This was over 15 years ago, really. So $43,000. And that's 15 years ago. Then I started thinking about this, and I was going, you know what? I started reading these books. Once I got over all the negative stuff, there's a reason why there's negative stuff on the internet. And every single one of them, I can go back and tell you. If we had time, I would tell you why some people say it's snake oil. I can tell you why some knockoffs say they're just as good as us. I can tell you all of these things, and if you have questions, come talk to me afterwards. But what I can tell you is, this is the only one that's a medical grade piece of equipment from Japan. It's the only one that's used in hospitals in Japan. And it's the only one that I have seen people have their own personal results for it. Let's talk about the machines itself. These are some of the machines. The most expensive machine that Enagic makes is the commercial unit. It's the top right hand corner. That machine costs $6,000. And that's for a commercial unit. You're not going to want a commercial unit in your home. You really don't. You don't need it. If you're a restaurant, you're going to run a lot of water, that's what you're going to want. In your home, most likely, are the three machines on the two left and the one in the center bottom. The one in the center bottom is called an under-counter model. And what that is rather than having the unit itself sit on your counter, you can put it underneath the counter, and all there is a spigot, and there's a keypad up front. And that one's actually $49.80. The two on the far left, those are the ones we have here. It's this one and that one over there. This one's $39.80. Okay, this is the one that Tammy bought. This is the one Tammy called up and says, guess what, Curtis, I'm going to buy one of these, and it's $39.80. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, that kind of sounds like a lot for water. But if you really think it's that important, go ahead and get it. The nice thing about this, in the center top, they actually make, it's called a traveling unit, and that makes the 3 drinking waters. It does not make the 11.5, the 2.5, but that machine is only $1,500. And then I started reading all these books. Now, I'm with Tammy. I can't make a medical claim. I can't tell you this is going to cure or heal anything. I can't tell you it's going to take away your aches or pains. I can tell you what I've seen in myself and what I've seen in my family. But then I started reading, what if Sang Wang is correct? What if Robert Wright is correct? You know, what if Dr. Shinny is correct? I read this. 8 times, he says, 8 times in this book, he says he's had a 0 reoccurrence of cancer with his patients. That's not me telling you that, that's him telling you that. If that is correct, $1,500 compared to these figures, $1,500 is nothing when it comes to this, if these men are correct. To me, this is more an investment than an expense when it comes to our health, and I honestly, truly believe that. And Magic has a brand new machine out. It's been out for a little while. It's called the K8. It has 8 plates rather than 7. Makes some of the strongest water out there. It has 8 languages. So if you want to have a different language, and it also has a universal power supply. The keypad also looks like an iPhone 5. It's really, really cool. This is something that got me because I'm a businessman. Okay, I own my own business my whole entire life. I was a general contractor. And then I looked into this. How many of you guys have gone to a movie before and went home and told your neighbors, you got to go see this movie? Raise your hands if you've ever done that. How many of you have ever gone to a restaurant and says, you know what, you guys have got to try this. And you called your friend on the phone and says, I just went to this brand new restaurant. It is amazing. You guys got to go try it. Have you ever done that to a restaurant before? No. I actually have. But for a movie, let's say you tell your neighbors, you know what, this last Avengers is amazing. You got to go see it. And they go see it. And then they tell their friends, and they tell their mom and dad, guess what, you got to go see it. They all go down here to the Megaplex down here. Did the Megaplex pay you any money at all for sending them down there? No, they never have. They never do. For me, in construction, when I owned my construction company, I loved referrals. The last 15 years of my business, I never paid for advertising. All I worked on was strictly referrals. And if I got a $20,000 referral, what I gave them was a $20 gift card to a buffet and a handwritten thank you note. That's all I gave them. For a $20,000 referral? This company, once you buy a machine, you get a little distributor number. Now, what that means is you can now start sharing this water. Have you guys ever had anything and you just had to tell people that you need to try it? Like a movie? Once you get this water, you're going to find out this is amazing. I'll tell you what, Tammy, it just irritated me to no end when she first got into this and when I was not on board, because I would come home for lunch from construction and Tammy had all these ladies, you know, on the couch, and she had to share this water with them. She just couldn't keep it to herself. And I'd come home just to get lunch and I said, can't even believe it. Yeah. But eventually, I got on board reading these books, and then I figured out this. The first time you share water with someone and they buy a machine, this company pays you $285. That's incredible to me. I only gave a $20 gift card for a $20,000 remodel. That's all I gave. Here's the best part. Let's say you sold it to your neighbor, and your neighbor has someone who lives in Canada. Their mom lives in Canada, and the mother decides to buy one. Guess what? You get another $285. Wow. The second machine you sell directly, you get $285. Here's the amazing part. The third machine, you get $570 per machine. If you do this basically up to 8 times, your machine is paid for. And the nice thing is you don't have to sell this. All you do is just share water. You just give people water, and eventually, if they really like it, they'll say, how do I get one of these things? I have to get one of these things. That is pretty cool. On your 11th machine, you actually make $855. Now, when Tammy first got into this, and I looked into this going, and I thought, this was before I understood it, I thought, wow, these machines are expensive. No wonder they're so expensive. You know, look at all this money they're giving away. you know, to people just for sharing the water. And I was thinking, okay, there's something to this. This is just not right. It sounds like an MLM to me. It sounds like all these other things. And then I started researching it. A bottle of water, you know what the markup is on a bottle of water? Do you guys know what it is? I found this. You can find used equipment that will make this entire thing. Will make the plastic, the lid, and the label. You can buy the used equipment for $100,000, and it will cost you for raw materials 1 cent to make this. 1 cent. You go over to Maverick over here to a gas station, they sell this for 99 cents. That's a 99 times markup for a bottle of water. If you guys ever bought a DVD before, how much do you think this cost to make? I paid $24 for this Cars. It's a great movie, $24. How much do you think this cost to make?
$1.
It's more than
$5.
I looked into it. $24.95, so it's about $25 for this. If you mass produce these, this costs 70 cents for the case, the sleeve, and the DVD. If you make enough of them. 70 cents. That's a 32 times markup. Wow. For me, construction, what I did, every time I bid a job and I figured out the material, if the material was $1, I had a 5 times markup. And the reason why, if the material was $1, I knew $2 of it was labor, I knew $1 of it was for sales and for advertising, and this was my overhead and hopefully gave me some profit. So on a $1 material bill, I charged 5 times the markup. These machines cost $1,400 to make. That's in materials. So this machine is a $1,400 machine, and they sell for $4,000. That's a little under 3 time markup. It's only 2.5, a little over 2.5%, 2.5 time markup on this. That's amazing to me. I started looking into this and I was going, wow, this is the slowest or lowest markup I have ever seen on any product. The last thing I want to see is this in a retail market. I don't want to see this at an RC Willey. I don't want to see this in a huge chain. You want to know why? Because these will cost over $10,000. It's nice because you'll never see an actor get paid to advertise these or anything. It's all word of mouth. I love that. Absolutely love that. So the way it basically works is these are $1,400 to make. There's 8 pieces of pie that people get, and each one is $285. The first 2 machines, you get 1 piece of the pie. The 3rd machine, you get 2 pieces of the pie. The 11th machine, you get 3 pieces of the pie. Once the 8 pieces are gone, there's no more. That's the difference between an MLM and this. MLM, you get paid for everyone, for 1 million people underneath you. This one, you got 8 people, and then that's it. 8 points, and then that's it. That's still pretty cool. If you share it, you get $285. I gave a $20 gift card. So here it just says if you can share it with 4 people, you basically get $17.10. 8 people, your machine is paid for. You guys have done so good. I'm so proud of you guys. Most likely what's going to happen is you guys are going to leave tonight and you're going to forget half of this stuff. I don't know if you guys have heard the story about the man who goes to the doctor and the doctor says, I got bad news and really bad news. And the guy goes, okay, doc, give me the bad news. And he goes, okay, the bad news is you got cancer. And he goes, I got cancer? And he goes, yeah, you have cancer. And he goes, okay, give me the other bad news. And he goes, okay, the other bad news is you got Alzheimer's. He says, I got Alzheimer's? He says, yeah, you got Alzheimer's. And he goes, well, thank goodness I don't have cancer. You're going to walk out of here, you're most likely going to forget half of this stuff. The one thing that I want you to remember is just a preventative care of this. Think of the things that this can save you. If you're buying bottled water, this averages out to be 6 cents a gallon. That's it. 6 cents a gallon? You can't find that anywhere else. The cheapest I could find was Walmart and Costco, and that was almost $1 a gallon. And it's not the Kangen water. So, like I said, the biggest thing you want to decide is which one looks best on your counter.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Tammy, this is Curtis, and just meet back with the person that gave you this DVD and ask him some more awesome questions. Oh, and start drinking the Kangen water today. Thank you very much.